Hey guys, welcome to Testing Academy. My name is Pramod and welcome to the 30 days of automation testing with Selenium guys with framework creation guys. This is the day 3 and if you haven't watched the day 1 and day 2 that contain lot about the information about Selenium architecture and how to basically write your first program in Selenium, I highly recommend you to watch the previous videos. Like in this video, we are basically going to master the locators in Selenium. And if you have followed my automation testing 30 days challenge, I have already explained you about a in-depth tutorial about let me share, which is the mastering XPath for Selenium, right? So I'm going to talk about a little bit about this one also. Today we're going to cover why we need to master the locators in Selenium because that are important. We will basically see the different type of locators in Selenium. And we're going to cover two important topic of today, which is the interview question as well as task for the today, right? So I hope you're excited. I'm excited. So let's get started, guys. All right. Perfect. Okay. Before starting out, guys, if you are interested in learning API testing from scratch from Python, rest assured you can check out the playlist, right? And I'll highly recommend you. There are like couple of 30 days challenge in that contains lots of knowledge, lots of valuable information for free. I will request you to go and watch that tutorial, right? So first of all, let's discuss about it. Why we need to master the locators in Selenium, right? So we need to master the locators because creating efficient XPath and CSS locator, whenever you are creating any kind of a CSS path or CSS locator, these are important skill to become a good SDET, any kind of a software developer and test, or if you are an automation tester. If you are very much efficient in finding the XPath or CSS locator, trust me guys, you're gonna have a great career ahead. And whenever you are creating your Selenium automation framework, it will help you a lot. So it is most important thing to master the locator strategy, especially in Selenium. Whenever it's all about it's all about the locators, guys. Trust me, if you know how to find the good, efficient locator, r- automation or you can say framework creation, Selenium is pretty much easy. It's just a uh, I would say piece of cake for you, right? And in interview, guys, people will ask you about it. How do you find the locator for this related question? So how do you basically work with XPaths? What is absolute XPath, relative XPath, these kind of stuff, right? And important tip, guys, important tip, avoid using any kind of a tool. I'm going to show you one important tool that you can use, but I will recommend you use that tool after you have basically mastered the locators, right? So first important video that you need to watch after this is this video, which is I'm going to put a link in the video. So mastering XPath for Selenium testers. This is one of the important video that you should watch it, right? So let's move on to my man map again, right? So this is a huge list, right? So if you talk about different locators in Selenium, guys, this is one of the lists that I have prepared specially for you. And trust me, if you know all these XPaths as well as the CSS locator, if you know about this, and you're gonna have some great knowledge as well as you are able to write your own XPath as well as CSS selector by your own, right? So let's go one by one. The first one is XPath, right? So core logic behind XPath, what exactly it is basically XPath is used to query any kind of a element, right? For example, let me show you what exactly I'm talking about, right? So suppose I have this application, right? So this application, if you see, right, it's made in HTML, right? It contains HTML, CSS, lots of JavaScript as well as some CSS, right? So what you can do is that in XPath you can basically query any kind of a element. For example, suppose I have written this thing, right? For example, this is one of the tool that I'm using, right? So you can open the developer tool by basically going by using the command option I in the Mac, right? And if you are not able to do that, you can basically use more tools, developer tools, right? And here, if you basically select this icon, right? And if you see selector hub, right? It will basically suggest you a if you see the input, right? And here if you see, you can have username password, right? So if you basically enter it, if you'll see that okay, you will be able to select this element, right? So this is how basically you can do by using UCSS this selector hub, right? But we are not going to cover this thing, but I'm just telling you that core logic for any kind of a XPath is basically the tag name, right? So tag name can be input box. So if you see here, right, so this is the tag name which is look like which is input box, right? If it is a button, suppose there is a particular button, then it will be a button in that case, right? Here you will basically write your attribute, right? If you see, right, you will have some @attribute, and here is your value, right? So typical XPath looks like this. You where we're gonna tell, okay, this is your attribute. Attribute is ID. So if you see, we have ID here, right? So this is there are like lots of different attributes available. For example, type is equal to email, class is full weight, name is equal to username, ID is equal to uh, login username, right? So there are like multiple attribute as well as value available, but you have to find a unique one so that every time your page loads, you are able to find a particular exact uh, element in that case. So the first preference that we have given is ID, right? And here we have used login username ID, and the element that we are basically working on is input box. So it basically means in a simple way that anywhere where we found an input box with attribute, so attribute of ID, if the attribute of username, right? So it's a one unique element if you see one element, right? And I'm going to show you how to use this tool, but I'm just using this tool for your reference, right? So there are like two types of absolute XPath, right? And more in-depth tutorial already covered in this thing. So basically we have covered what is XPath, deep dive, and lots of types of XPath, why we need to learn locating element and CSS selector, how you can convert your XPath to. So I'm not gonna cover in this video. I will recommend you to watch that tutorial. But in a nutshell, you should know that okay, there are like two XPath. So first one is absolute one. Absolute one is basically let me show you how it looks like. So if you click over here, right click, if you see copy and copy full XPath, right? If you see, right, and if we type here, if you'll see that it's absolute XPath, right? So it is basically from the root directory, root element. So root element is HTML. After that we have body, div2, div1, and there it is, right? So absolute XPath are long and slow, and they can break whenever we are introducing any kind of a new element, something like this, it will break. Relative XPath is nothing but this is relative XPath that we have already used. It is basically we are saying anywhere, double slash basically means anywhere we find input box, right? So anywhere we found input box, there are like lots of input box. There are 17 elements in this page, right? And after that we are basically uniquely identifying that okay, it's if we are able to find any kind of attribute of ID with username, it's we want that element, right? So we are able to get that element in that case, right? So that's what we are doing here. Perfect. I hope that makes sense, right? So one of the important thing is nth child. Let me show you how basically we work with nth child in that case, right? So if you see here, this is one of the demo, and here if you see we have four paragraphs, right? Paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And nth child basically is what we are doing here is that in this case, for example, we want to get the third element, right? So how we can get the third element in this case is that basically we can use dollar. So dollar is generally used for CSS selector, right? And right now if you see I am in iframe, right? So if I do P, I'll able to find the first element, right? But the problem here is I don't want first element. I want the second, third element. So I can use nth, it's nth child, right? And I'm mentioning third, right? So if I mention third, it's basically third, it will print third. If I mention fourth, it will basically use fourth. So now you can use this CSS selector. I'm going to show you in the next video how you can use this, right? So I'm going to basically use this CSS selector in that case, right? So that's how you can use the and child in that case. So that is actually not related to. So let me put it into a CSS selector, right? So XPath, I hope you will able to find more details about the XPath in the in that video. And one more thing, important things that I have like to give you is that this cheat sheet. So make sure you basically copy this cheat sheet. So this cheat sheet basically talks about how you can basically create your own XPaths. Like if you have ID directly, it is a simple ID, then you can basically use double slash anywhere. Star means anywhere in the page. So basically double slash basically means XPath. We are finding in documentation. Star basically means any element with the ID is equal to ID, we are able to find it, right? Similarly, any element, anywhere in the document, double slash basically means document, uh, right? And if we are able to find any class, then basically we are getting it, right? This is the demo. This is actually I have already discussed element. Double slash basically means anywhere in the document input box, any input box with the type submit. I want that, right? So that's how XPath looks like. So basically, it's a conversion of CSS to XPath, right? If you see in a nutshell, CSS selectors are pretty much straightforward and they looks very simple one. But the but it's basically up to you which you prefer, XPath or CSS selector. Most of the time, we prefer CSS selector in that case, in most of the cases, right? So I'm gonna do done, and let's cover another important link that I will be basically mentioning in the description, right? It's a cheat sheet. You can basically, if you want root element, you can directly get it. Body element anywhere with the text you want it, right? So there are lots of different examples with tag name, with attributes, with ID and name combination, language and class, text and link. So this is siblings and preceding. So all the things related to XPath are covered in this video. So make sure you watch that one, right? And here is the link of that mastering XPath tutorial. You can go to go.scrolltype.com/XPath. I hope that makes sense, right? So if we talk about the CSS selector, CSS selector is nothing but basically you can use, these are again used to find any kind of element in the HTML document that you have, right? Similar to the XPath, XPath is basically used to query any kind of a element in your HTML. You can use CSS selectors to basically get the element, right, uniquely. So generally what we can use is that any element you can give any kind of a ID, class name, name, tag, right? So let me show you how it looks like. So basically, if you see here, right, we have an attribute ID is equal to login, right? Login username, right? So this is one of the thing that we have given, right? Here in this tool, if I type directly hash username, right? So hash, if it is starting with hash, it basically means ID, right? So anyone, anywhere in the documentation with the ID login hyphen username, I want that element. So there is only one unique element. So that's why I'm getting things, right? So if I say directly with the CSS selector input, right, it will say that I have 17 input elements here, right? So we don't want that thing. Similarly, you can have class name. So if you see, we have class full width, right? If suppose I want to get so for class name you need to use dot. If I do, I am able to find 10 elements here. So that is not unique in that case, right? So that's why we'll not use class name in that case, right? Similarly, you can use name, tag, and ID. So name generally, if you see name again, we have unique, right? So for name, we're gonna use name, right? So generally, to use the name, in the Java we have already provided with the by.name, right? That we can leverage. So let me show you that quick demo about it. That previous demo that we have already done, right? So I'm gonna show you the all the things now with the all the locator that we have found in the previous video, right? So let's go to the main one, right? Here, how do you find is that very simple way. Basically, we are telling driver to find an element, right? So if you see in the previous so we can find element as well as elements, right? So what exactly this takes is that is basically it basically going to return one element, right? And we have to use any kind of a locator mechanism here. So how we are using here is that basically we are providing, yeah. So what we are doing here is that we are basically using a by function of Selenium, right? And here you can basically leverage all the things. For example, we can use by ID. So let me show you. If I let's do one thing. Let's create new one. Driver dot find element. So we are finding only one element by. So you can use by class name, by XPath, by CSS selector, name, ID, link text, partial text, tag name, right? So these are the methods that already by provides, right? So here, if you see for CSS selector, we have ID, class, name, tag ID, right? That we can use, as well as we can combine with the CSS selector. CSS selector basically means that combining uh, two or more basically ID plus class name or something like this. For example, div with a P, right? So if we say div, how many div we have? So we have around 214 divs. If we say that, okay, div with a P, do we have? So they are like 31 div with a P, right? So that's how you basically keep on creating any kind of a CSS selector. And that's where tools come handy. For example, let me select this one, and let me basically start what is it? It's H5, right? So if I say ID, if I say hash, it will automatically giving me suggestion that okay, you can use this thing. It's basically have a unique ID, which is JS sign in heading in that case, right? And it's automatically matching. So that's where this tools come handy. It's this tool is called as Selectors Hub, and I have a extensive uh, tutorial about this tool on the channel. So make sure you watch it, right? And again, for the cheat sheet part, I am already giving you that CSS selector cheat sheet. I will recommend you to watch the tutorial by Freed Codecamp. I'll put this link. It will basically talk about lots of different uh, ways or cheat sheet, right? We can find the element by parcel text, link text, and child again that we have discussed earlier, right? So I hope you have get the initial understanding about how different locator works. Don't worry, guys. We in the next videos we're gonna cover every most of these XPath and CSS selector one by one. As in the here we have already worked with ID, right? And most of the time we'll be working with ID because if you see ID is better than any kind of you can say CSS selector. This is how generally I use, and it is so last will be XPath in that case. It will be name, and if you're able to find any kind of a class, then it will be something like this. So if you are able to find ID, if you are able to find unique ID, then it's a great thing. If you are able to find name, again, it's a great thing. If you're able to find class name, it's a great thing. And if you're able to find with CSS selector, basically meaning combination of any CSS ID, something like that, then it's fine. And least preference is XPath, but if you're comfortable, sometimes most of the time you will not able to use any kind of a CSS selector in that case, then you have to move back to the XPath in that case. So that's where the most of the time you will be learning, right? So let's quickly jump into the Selenium interview question about it. So again, the people ask you about the absolute versus relative. So absolute is a full path. It's a long path. It's slow one to slow, as well as absolute basically means from root element to the element that you have, right? So we will have all the things. It can break whenever we introduce any kind of a shadow element, any kind of a new element. It will break in that case, right? If we talk about relative XPath, it's basically by finding or querying, right? And in the relative XPath, you can directly find the element with the uniqueness. For example, attribute, whatever the attribute that you have, ID as well as the value, right? So that you can use. How many types of nodes in XPath? So generally in XPath we have discussed about we have element, attribute, you can have text, namespace, document nodes as well as processing instruction or comments, right? Most of the time we will be working with element, attribute, text and comments, right? Why we use XPath? XPath is generally used to query any kind of a element from any HTML or XML. That why we use XPath in that case. XPath expressions are case sensitive, so make sure you know that. How do you find the relationship among the nodes? So if you want to find any kind of a relationship between the nodes, what you can do is that you can use parent, child, siblings, ancestor, and descendants. All the things discussion is already in this video. So make sure you go to go.scrolltouch.com/xpath, where I have discussed extensively about these things about in the XPath, right? I hope you have learned something new, and today's task is basically write a blog about the XPath, whatever that you have learned in this video as well as from the second video that I'm going to talk about, and any kind on the CSS selector. If you are comfortable, post in the Facebook group what you have learned in 4 or 5 lines, right? Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Trust me, if you are following this 30 days, trust me, you're gonna master the Selenium and you will have your own automation framework in the end that you can basically, that can definitely uh, uh, help you to basically crack any kind of a automation or SDET interview. And basically, you can say that I have basically followed the Selenium or automated a live project, right? Uh, uh, and this is the automation framework that I have created. So 30 days, invest in yourself, guys, please. This is why I'm doing it. This is day 3. We are at just at day 3. Watch video completely. Make sure you watch the Mastering XPath as well as other Selenium tutorial that I already have in the videos. And be prepared, post a blog, write it down. That's how you do it, right? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I'll see you in the day 4, where we're gonna cover the so let's see what we have in day 4, right? So in the day 4 we have WebDriver methods, and we're gonna cover lots of different methods about it. We're gonna cover Windows, page, elements, find, and I'm gonna show you demo. I've already prepared, so you're gonna see some more demos about it, how to use every kind of a ID, action class, lots of different stuff, right? So make sure you follow that tutorial. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next video.